Hey guys, welcome. During my streaming recently, some viewers in the chat asked me why they can't rearm their missiles for their ships. So I explained to them the reason and the workarounds, but they suggested that I make a video for it, just in case there are still players who didn't know about this, especially new players to Star Citizen. And right now, it's still the free flight season. So why can't you rearm your missiles for your ship, or torpedoes, or bombs? This can be a bug to be fixed, or just simply an annoying feature that CIG will ignore and will never fix. First of all, let me explain why you can't rearm your missiles, and then I will provide you with some workarounds. Now, let's use a Redeemer, for example. So in the very beginning, when you want to use your ship, you will have to deliver your ship first by clicking deliver. Now, in the recent patch, something has changed. You think that every single new patch, all your ship list will be renewed, right? That is a practice before. Every single new patch, all of our ships, whether destroyed or upgraded, everything will go back to a pre-delivery state, which means you have a new, fresh ASAP list. You don't have these ships says claim, claim, claim. I think since this patch or last patch, things has changed. Every new patch from now on, your ship will be in a claimed state. Your insurance will be saved for the ships that you have delivered already. If you have delivered all your ships, then every single new patch, you have to claim the ship. But in the beginning of the new patch, you might not need to pay the fee for the delivery. Let me see which ship is used in the last patch. You can see this one, Zeus Mark II ES. This one is what I used in the last patch. I haven't used in this patch, so I can claim the insured loadout with 0 fee. If I have not changed components, I think the fee will be free. If I have changed the components, for example, the Zeus CL, when I claim it, it's only barely 1K. So it's either free or a very small amount of fee that you have to pay to claim the ship that you used in the previous patch. But once you start using it in this patch, then when you claim it, you have to pay the full insurance cost if you want to claim the insured loadout. So that's the new system like that. But because of this new system, if you have done something wrong with your missiles or bombs or torpedoes, then you will lose the ability to rearm them forever if you do not do the workaround. Now, how did this happen? Let's use the Redeemer as an example. So first time, deliver this Redeemer. Deliver. Now, let's retrieve it. Alright, this is the new freshly spawned Redeemer. Do you smell that new ship smell? When you first spawn the ship, you will see that all your missiles are here. I have 16 Strike Force 2 missiles. Now, when I fire these missiles, ooh, that missile just went out like that. The trajectory of these missiles, it's very weird sometimes. Yeah, that missile just fired like that. Last 4. Okay, now, if you go to landing, you can restock your missiles. Restock. All my missiles are back. So I got 16 more missiles. Ooh. Yeah, missiles going the wrong place. And now, let's say at this point, your Redeemer is destroyed or you abandoned somewhere. For our example, I'm gonna store the ship. After I store the ship, I'm gonna scrap it. This is similar as the ship is destroyed or abandoned. Now, the Aegis Redeemer is in an unknown state. You can claim it again, claim insuring the loadout, or you can wait for the timer to clear the default loadout. A few patches ago, CIG introduced the new ship insurance system. So that is why you can see this page. When you click preview items, you can see the components and weapons of that particular ship if you insure that ship. However, I have not insured the Redeemer yet. So at this point, if I claim the insured loadout and then spawn the ship again, and now you can see that this ship has got no missiles. Missiles empty. So this is what the new system is doing to all our ships. You only have missiles when you first delivered your ship. When you use your ship, that you need to reclaim the ship, whether through the free claim or the paid insurance claim, your consumables will not be restocked. And that consumable includes missiles, and mostly missiles. Even though CIG said the ballistic weapons will also not be restocked, but that hasn't been the truth yet, because all our ballistic weapons, for example, the C788 on the ship, are all restocked. So ballistic ammo will be restocked, but missiles, bombs, and torpedoes will not be restocked when you reclaim the ship. So earlier I rearmed my missiles, but when I reclaim the ship, the missiles are all empty. At this point, what you can do is you can still restock your missiles. But the problem is, if you do not restock your missiles, for example, right now my missile is empty, and now I want to do something to the ship. For example, at this point, I want to do some upgrade. Doesn't matter what kind of upgrade. If I want to change the paint and then save the loadout, or change my weapons, and now when you click here, you can see all the missiles are empty. Let's say I want to add a emote dashboard. Doesn't matter what change you do here, whether system, weapons, when you click save, change, and equipped, this doesn't change anything, not yet. But when you exit out and when you click ensure loadout, when you click confirm, this is the button. Once clicked, the current loadout will be saved. And if you don't have missiles in the current loadout, at this point, this state is saved for the Redeemer. You will never be able to rearm missiles from now on, unless you change something. So first of all, let's bring the ship out. Retrieve. Now you can see the missiles are empty. However, the difference is right now when I try to rearm my missiles, restock, you can see it's only 6 AUEC. This is perhaps the ballistic weapon that I shot earlier. When I click this, it does not restock my missiles. Okay, restocked. Look at my missiles. They are still empty. But I do have the guns that I can fire. And this is what costs us 6 AUEC. So go to rearming again. This is 1 AUEC. Restock. So you can only restock your ballistic weapons. No more missiles restocking. This will be the reason why that you cannot rearm your missiles. And this, like I said in the beginning of the video, this will not change just because we have a new patch. This is going to be forever if you don't do something to it. Not only missiles, but if you lost a weapon on the ship during combat, or if you damage the ship, for example, I'm gonna damage my ship a little bit. Oh, damage too much. Okay, I'm gonna just ram the ship a little bit. Oh! I can never get this right. This time, I'm gonna shoot it with Cyclone MT, the ballistic weapon. This time, it has to work, right? First, I'm gonna fire a missile. Glad the missiles on the MT actually works. Okay, shoot at that engine. Shoot at the turret in the front. Yep, now you can see the ship is quite damaged on the wings. Now I'm gonna also add another test here. I'm gonna take out this fire extinguisher. Do we have any fuses here? Couldn't find a fuse on the Redeemer. And now I'm going to save the insurance loadout for the Redeemer before I even repair or do anything with it. So click confirm. And then scrap it. And now bring it up again. Claim. Just simply claim the insured loadout. Now check the ship. Oh! Never mind. This has not been the case anymore. When this feature first came into play, if your ship is damaged or your paints are damaged, whatever, if you save the insure loadout, next time you claim it, they will give you the damaged ship. But this is not the case anymore because my ship is all repaired. Yeah, I don't have to repair the ship anymore. However, we still have the missile restock problem because of this. Also, my fire extinguisher has been replenished as well after the reclaiming when I saved the insurance loadout. Now the question is, how do I get my missile back? The solution is very simple. So first of all, you send this ship into your storage again. After you store the ship, you scrap the ship. And after you scrap the ship, you have to claim the default loadout. But obviously, I have to wait for the timer, but I do have the second redeemer, which the timer already expired. For example, this is the same redeemer. Once I finish waiting for the timer, I claim the default loadout. Claim this. Do not save the loadout. Don't do anything to this. Simply retrieve it. When you claim a default loadout, which means the entire ship is going back to default, which includes your missiles and your skin. You can see this is just no skin for the ship. However, even when you claim the default loadout, you will not have missiles equipped on the ship, just because the consumables cannot be restocked. However, under default loadout setting, even though your missile is empty, but right now you can rearm the missiles. This is true for every single ship. So you can claim the default loadout for that ship and then bring the ship up, restock the missiles like this. And now I just restocked for all my Redeemer's missiles. And next step is simply store this Redeemer, use your vehicle loadout manager. Now you will see the missiles. So you unequipped every single one of them into your inventory. Now save the loadout. We're not done yet. So what you need to do right now is to scrap this Redeemer, because this is a default loadout. You don't want this. What you want is a Redeemer that has a leverage that you equipped, or you have upgraded your components. So simply click Claim Insured Loadout. And now your original Redeemer, Insured Redeemer, is out. Now you have the missiles for your Redeemer. So simply equip back those missiles. Of course, you can purchase these missiles in the in-game shops and then equip those missiles that way. But if you don't have those missiles in the station, you can simply using this method to swap back your missiles for that ship. However, if you change the missile type, for example, if you don't want to use Strike Force, you're using the Dominator 2, then you do have to purchase the Dominator and then equip them one by one onto the ship. After this equipping, what you do is to save the insured loadout again. And now your missiles will be saved together with insured loadout. However, something I wish CIG could do is to add a section indicates missiles, whether the ship has missiles or not, or what type of missiles. Because we have components, guns, even gimbals, and fuses even. Why not add the missiles? But maybe because missiles are consumables. So if you cannot rearm missiles, you're gonna have to use this workaround. This includes torpedoes or bombs. Now retrieve the ship. And now, not only you have your missiles back, but when you fire those missiles, you can rearm them again. Even after the ship is destroyed, you can always rearm your missiles. And do not forget, if you want to use missiles for a combat, do not forget to rearm the missiles before you head out for patrol. So this is why that you cannot rearm your missiles and work around for this. Now after this, every time you want to change a component or a paint for this particular ship, you can change it from the vehicle loadout manager But be sure, after you change it, do not save the insurance. Bring the ship out, rearm your missiles first, and then go to your ASOP terminal to save the insurance loadout, to make sure that you always have the ability to rearm your missiles. And this is not just going to be one patch, but as long as this system is like this, every single patch is like this. So if you're wondering why I can't rearm my missiles, this is why. I hope this video helps. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. And by the way, don't forget to check out my Twitch streams. I'm gonna be streaming more regularly, couple of days every week. Here's a link. See you there.